Welcome everybody to the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Jeff, and Sean. I am Tony.
Man, if one day he will read this right, the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff, and I am Sean.
And I am Jeff.
And we are coming back at you. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
2021. Ain't nothing different the date on the calendar, but hey, it is what it is. We're gonna have a great year. But yes, thank you for joining the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. I'm coming to you from Dayton, Ohio, where it is 40 degrees today, cold and rainy, but that's what we expect. Sean, what is it out there on the West Coast?
Sunshine and tacos, son. Sunshine and tacos. I don't know, 70 degrees. And Jeff, well, how's it doing? How's that going in Chicago, son?
Hey, we ain't known for being the Windy City for nothing. It's nice and chilly. Nice and chilly. A little snow on the ground. Winter is here.
Ugh. I don't miss none of that.
I tell you what, I feel like almost every evening my family spends time with you, man. Our show is Chicago Fire, and we watch Chicago Fire, and I continuously remind my family that it's accurate, except for the fact that the streets don't really intersect like that.
He's talking like an expert. He's talking like an expert now.
Signs, boy. I am looking at the street signs, trying to figure out where they're going. I'm like, nope, that's not real. Not real. We love us some Chicago Fire, boy. Season 5, we binge it 2-3 episodes a night. I'm gonna be so disappointed when we get to the end. But I gotta take a breath.
Good Lord,
right,
please take a breath.
We are finishing up the college football semifinal weekend. We are done with the games. Now it's NFL as we head into the playoffs and finish the final week of the regular season, but we're not getting away from college football just yet.
Nope.
We have one game left.
Yeah.
The two best teams in the country. Let me say that again. The two best teams in the country. Undefeated Ohio State coming in as the underdog against the also undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. And so everybody was complaining about college football committee not getting it right. At the end of the day, we get the two best teams. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
All right. That is the goal. A lot of games, a lot of football games, not as many bowl games as in history. I think typically there's about 30 bowl games. It's just bowl game here, bowl game there. This year wasn't as many bowl games, but we were treated to some good games over the weekend.
Yeah.
So, Sean, what did you think about the University of Cincinnati versus Georgia on Friday?
It's a good game.
Excuse me.
It's a good game.
It's a great game. Jeff, you watch that game?
I did get a little bit of it. Yes.
Properly ranked.
I agree.
Yes.
For all the UC fans out there screaming they should have got a shot over my Irish, wrong answer. Properly ranked.
With that being said, I think some of these games illustrated why we absolutely need a wider playoff scenario. We need more than 4 teams. What do you think, Jeff?
Hey, I'm a big fan of it. Being in a smaller, playing in smaller divisions.
Wouldn't get in. Now, hold on. Y'all still wouldn't get in.
At this stage, we probably still would not get in, but that's not beyond the point. I like the idea of playoffs, like a true playoff system, like they have in 1AA, 2 and 3. But the bigger issue is the bigger conferences don't lose too much money. Just too much money to be lost for going into a true playoff system.
Is it?
I don't understand. I don't understand how you lose the money if you widen it to 8. You create more interest.
That's been the argument.
Well, the argument. Hold on. The argument all these years was it was twofold. It was they were concerned about fans and traveling, right? Well, guess what? Alabama fans, Notre Dame fans, Ohio State fans, they're going to travel. If USC gets in, they're going to travel. Texas fans, they're going to travel. The Blue Bloods will travel. And those who are the ones who get in, Georgia's, they will travel. We don't have to worry about that.
Look, man, it's about these bowls and these sponsors losing money.
How are they losing money? The second thing that they complained wasn't right was that the students were going to be out of school for so long, but they don't say that. They don't say anything when it's Division FCS and lower or March Madness. They don't say anything about that, right? Don't. So I don't understand what you mean when you say they're going to lose money. How are they going to lose money? The games will be on television.
It's a money issue.
What's the money?
But here's the
because the thing is, why else would it not work then? You just laid out the argument that I would lay out for it.
The issue,
I'm for it.
What they would be complaining,
I'm for it.
What the initial bowl claim was that our bowl game isn't featured anymore. It was a bowl committee or whoever, the bowls were complaining, oh, the Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all. We don't want to be second tier, a semifinal. That's what their complaint was, right? But they're in now, so they can still be in this spot, semifinal, final. Let that rotate. But guess what? The Tax Slayer Bowl would love to be associated with a playoff.
Absolutely would.
Right? So would the High Point Holdings LLC Bowl would love to be associated with a playoff.
Absolutely would.
So what's the problem? Let's make it happen.
Here's the news flash. Most of these bowl games lose money anyway. Fact is, most of these bowl games in a good year don't have anybody in the stands. Not really.
Right.
Very, very small crowds. Okay, you look at these. I mean, to the point where they black out seats. They change. They only use so many cameras. Otherwise, you can see that no one's there. Now, right now, everybody's okay with it because they know with COVID, there's not gonna be a lot of people.
When
there.
you say most, though, what games are you talking about? Like when the MAC championship team is playing, or you're not talking about when it's the Big Ten versus the Pac-12?
Oh, absolutely. But that's my point.
Right.
That's my point. You have all these bowl games that simply invite teams with 6 wins in a normal year to come.
Right.
And you've got teams that nobody really, except for the people that root for those teams,
that's right,
care about those games.
There you go.
So the fact of the matter is, all you do by expanding the playoffs to 8 teams is you then allow for more bowls to be in the spotlight, their money to go further when they're sponsoring the bowls because they're going to be on TV with this team versus that team, national stage, all eyes on it. Because guess what? Now everybody cares about all those playoff games. Everybody care. Listen, everybody tuned in on New Year's Day.
Yep.
Everybody tuned in on New Year's Day. Yep. You know what? University of Cincinnati versus Georgia could have been 2 of the 8, okay, in the playoffs. And everybody would have watched that game. They would have loved it, right? You get a North Carolina and a Texas A&M. To be honest, I watched some of the game. That probably didn't get a ton of views. If it's a playoff game, it's getting a ton of views.
That's right.
So all of a sudden, this money argument,
and it was arguably one of the better bowl games.
It was a great game until the last few minutes.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, people have argued in the past about the money. Fact is, more people get a piece of the pie if you expand it. More eyes. It's better for recruiting for more teams. You know what? You think a team like, listen, Cincinnati got to play on New Year's. That's huge because that program is upward trajectory, right? I mean, they recruit well. They're on TV. They're hanging with the big boys. The reality of it is, and I love University of Cincinnati. I love Coach Fickle. The reality of it is, that's a game that a lot of people will go and say, really should have won that game.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna question calls and play calls and things like that because you know what? Every play that works is a good call, right? And if it doesn't, it's a bad call. That's just the way it is. There's more than one way to skin a cat, and at the end of the day, there's another team out there trying to stop you. Okay, so that is what it is. But expand the playoffs, 8 teams, more games matter. Okay, more bowl games now matter. People are watching those games, and then those bowls get more bang for their buck too. That those people that are sponsored, the sponsor for those bowl games, get more bang for their buck. That's what I think. And this would have been the best year to do it anyway, because guess what? Everybody lost money this year.
Yeah.
Everybody lost money.
Yeah.
All these schools lost money all the way up. People weren't getting. I mean, come on, no one's getting their money's worth right now from a sponsorship standpoint. You can't because nobody. The only plus is the games are on TV. People are still getting to watch them, but outside of that, nobody's getting their bang. Okay, and that's why so many. That's why so many of the sponsors pulled out this year. That's why you didn't see a lot of those bowl games. They're like, shoot, for what?
For who?
What?
For who? That's right.
Right.
But you know what? I am happy. I am happy to see, and I was really happy to see, and so was my buddy here. We were really happy to see game. On January 1st, 8 p.m. Ohio State versus Clemson. That was a fun one. That was a fun one. I'm not one of these Ohio State fans that gets on every quarter posting 3 posts on Facebook.
Thank you.
Talking about we did this, we did that, we did this. I wasn't all on that. I enjoyed the game.
That's how I tolerate you.
I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed to see that a 6-win team that played in the booty conference, according to a lot of people, who only played 6 games, who didn't do this, who couldn't do that, who couldn't stop the pass, who couldn't run it like they used to, couldn't do all that, checked off most every box in that game.
Tony is
That's why you play.
Fire.
Come on. That's why you play the games. Give me an en fuego,
I
Sean.
gave it to you. You're on fire. You'll see it if you watch the podcast.
I've been fired up. Then my Ravens did the thing today, finished off the season strong. Woo, I'm loving it.
Look, he's all fired up. You can't be hopping subjects, man. You want us to talk about your Buckeyes or not?
I did all the talking. I did all the talking.
Oh, you don't want us to say? Okay, cool. I won't have to say.
There's nothing more that can be said.
Good.
Now,
hey, I'll tell you this. Look, I'll tell you this though. Justin Fields makes it really hard not to like him. Makes it hard not to root for him. He's such a humble kid, man, and he's good. I mean, he's just, and I think he showed a lot of heart. I mean, that hit he took was something. And
got smoked.
He did. I mean, he did, and he came back out there, threw a nice little touchdown that is, and finished out the game. And something about adrenaline that can do something for you. But he played a hell of a game.
I've been watching him since he was on that show, QB1, and he was a humble kid then when he was going to Georgia, and he was the top dog in high school. And I've watched him at Ohio State. I like him, and I like Olave, and I like Sermon. Right? You guys hear these conversations. Well, Tony, you hear it. You hear me say I like Ohio State guys. It's my friends on Facebook who don't hear it, right? Once again, death by 1,000 cuts. This time, though, it was a little more explosive. It was a little more physical. It was a little more nasty. The score in the weight room and in the facilities all off season from that loss to Clemson last year. There's something about an Ohio State team when you say maybe they can't beat them. Then they come out and beat the crap out of you. And it was a little more physical than normal. And it, usually at first I thought, okay, the first year they got stopped. I'm like, oh, this might be a problem. But then they make some adjustments and they were all over them dudes. Yeah. And I look at how Ohio State played. Go ahead.
I'll just say add a little sneezing on there from Dabo talking about they didn't belong in the top 10.
Right. So in my mind's eye, I'm playing it back last night, like because I'm thinking about what I'm gonna talk about today. What's the difference between how Notre Dame played Clemson and how Ohio State played them? Because clearly Ohio State played them better. Clearly Ohio State has better athletes, right? On the O-line, we did well. Because if you watch that Notre Dame game, you could see where Ian Book had plenty of time. The difference is the quarterback position and the skill positions at Notre Dame and Ohio State. You had a quarterback at Ohio State who was willing to stand in the pocket and make the throw. Ian Book wants that throw to be open before he throws that ball. He wants it to be clear and concise. This is where I'm going with it. My guy's open. I'm going to throw it. There were plenty of times where they would go back and run the replay and be like, okay, this is why he didn't throw the ball. But look, if you look close, here's an opening and here's an opening. And he just didn't pull the trigger. Justin Fields throws the ball. And the second thing is you got guys who can separate. And Notre Dame does not have those guys. They got a bunch of big guys. They like 2 and 3 tight ends. They do not separate from defenders. So that's what causes that pause for Book. But if you give Book, Olave, and some of those other dudes, I think they could probably beat Clemson too. You know what I mean? Because the offensive line, Book would be standing back there patting the ball, but he'd be so afraid to throw the ball because his guys can't separate like Ohio State guys. That's the difference. And that goes to my rant again last week or whatever I was talking about, Rocket. We just don't get those guys. Good job, Ohio State. I said it.
You talk about Johnny's and Joe's, but I will say this game in the first half, I believe the X's and O's had a ton to do with it because, like you said, Ohio State gets those kids, but so does Clemson. Okay, and you saw that in the first series for both teams when Clemson spread the field, okay, and made you guard them from sideline to sideline. And Ohio State At first, they weren't trying to do that. They were trying to get upfield. Okay, they were trying to get penetration, get upfield, and it was edge, and they just went down the field that way. And I said, oh no, if we allow that to happen all game, we're done. You come out first offensive series, and it just looked like, it just looked like jab, move, jab, move, punt. All right.
Yeah.
And I said, ooh. However, from then on, okay, you saw some adjustments. Anytime in today's game, anytime you score 3 touchdowns in the first half through your tight ends, okay, that means you have exploited matchup and scheme issues. Okay, that's what you've done. You've exploited those issues that you have seen early on. They say, in the old school, run the dive. Why? Because I want to see how you line it up. Then bam. Then you got some play action. Then you got this. Then you got that. And I felt like that's what Ohio State did. And then the Johnnies and Joes took over. You saw Clemson guys down on the field, running off the field, needing to take time off, heading to the tent. You saw that the entire game. And so from a physical standpoint, and what you keep thinking back to is 31-0. Okay, that's what I was thinking back to. 31-0. At that first series, I said, "Oh my gosh, not again." But then I think last year it was punch for punch, and we just made some mistakes. Okay,
and the refs blew that call.
There were some tough, things that went against Ohio State. I never felt after the first 2 series for each team, I felt good. Ohio State showed they were going to be able to run it. Ohio State showed that he can make the throws, okay? So then you have the separation, and Ohio State showed from a schematic standpoint they were going to be fine, okay? Man, that was a fun game to watch if you were an Ohio State fan, but I believe it was also a fun game to watch if you were a college fan, because here's the thing.
You didn't have to be an Ohio State fan. You didn't have to be an Ohio State fan.
Right, nobody wanted to see. Listen, everybody thought coming into this game, what did they think? Here's the narratives. Alabama's going to blow Notre Dame out, and Clemson's going to give it to Ohio State. Why don't you just put the 2 in the championship game, because that's what it's going to be. That was the narrative. So I found myself pulling for the Irish, okay, because I hated the fact that, okay, that's the narrative. Hey, make people – hey, you lost because you weren't wearing scarlet and gray. You were wearing gold and navy, okay? I'm excited to see now. My fear is Ohio State played so well, put so much emotion out on the field, got after it like they did.
Don't you start preparing no excuse. Don't you start preparing no excuse.
No. I'm just hoping, because I felt like after the game, everything was about, we wanted this game. We remembered last year, the score, this, that, and the other. I'm just hoping that when you face Alabama, who is better than Clemson, you didn't spend it all against Clemson. But we'll see.
Pause right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening and watching the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. Please take a moment and subscribe and follow us on YouTube. Push the button right there.
Up, Tony.
Right there. You can also follow us on
Tony.
social media, on Facebook, IG, and Twitter. You can also find our audio anywhere that you can listen to a podcast. Thank you again for following the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. Say word, son.
Man, he sounded like he was on the quiet fire.
The quiet fire. I'm going to turn your sound up. How are y'all doing tonight? It's Valentine's Day.
I took my note out for Tony. Had my bottle, my glass of Cavassier sitting next to me.
You got to say it with a lift. The ladies man, huh? The ladies man. Oh, wow.
Hey, but I would say this though.
We might get more women to listen after that one.
You're so silly. I'll go back to what Tony said. I think as a college football fan, you had to enjoy watching that game. Like I said, being who I like, I had fun watching them. And like I said, watching Fields just throw that ball around the way that he did. I like you, Tony, hope that they didn't spend it all. But I would just say, just to see how they have been prepared playing over these last couple of seasons, I don't think that will be an issue. I think there will be a solid game on both sides of the ball. It'll be interesting. I think they match up well. It'll just be interesting to see how it actually plays out and how the kids show up to play.
That's right. That's right. All right, so we got that. Now wait a minute. You mentioned your team for a second. Did I read right? Did y'all actually give Harbaugh an extension?
I hope they cut his pay, but yeah, I think they did.
Yeah, hey, it is what it is.
Hey, clearly we couldn't pull Sarkisian. He went to Texas, so
that's a big thing too.
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
That's
so we'll see what happens.
That is big. That is big. So the rumor mill has potentially Urban Meyer making his way to the NFL. Jacksonville Jaguars. Number 1 pick. Now, obviously it's hypothetical that he would go there, but the arrows are pointing that way. A couple things. First thing my wife says is, well, didn't he quit coaching the Buckeyes because of health? That's what was said. The fact is, the college game is different from the pro game. It's not nearly the time, okay, from a stress standpoint, from a year-round standpoint. There's no recruiting. It is, I mean, obviously they put the time in, but it's not the same. And it's not near the long hours, and grueling schedule for 12 months. So I could see that happening. We talked about it before, Sean. That's the highest level. Even though it's a different game in some respects, it's still the highest level of the game that we all love and those guys love to coach. And once you have it in your blood, the coaching, you don't want to quit coaching. Even when you quit coaching, you want to get out there, whether it's pee-wee, whether it's coaching your kids, whether it's, whatever. And so I can see that happening. But I'm going with this is the interesting twist, okay, is that he's going to have the number 1 pick in the draft if he goes to Jacksonville. And here you have Trevor Lawrence, everybody's number 1, okay? But you have an interesting question mark over Justin Fields, who Urban loves. What happens? What does he take? What does he take? Easy answer, he takes the number 1 guy. But does he?
Yeah. What you gotta remember is Justin Fields is not Urban's guy. That's Ryan Day's guy. He transferred. Justin wasn't recruited by Urban. And
that's right.
Trevor is your quintessential professional quarterback. There's going to be the only development there is going to be reading defense, right? Learning the offense, getting through your progressions, reading defense, being a pro. There's not much. I mean, the arm talent, right? The size, he's got speed, he's got everything you want. Justin still has some developing to do. He's really, really good. But in that offense, right? An RPO, right? 1 or 2 reads. Sometimes he gets to 3, but that's something he just started doing this year. He's still got some developing to do. If I'm Urban, I don't give a damn. I'm like what's his name? Pete Carroll when he told old boy he need to stay in school, right. and then he didn't even start drafting his own guys.
Right.
That safety out of USC was mad at him because he didn't draft him. Right. So if you're Urban and that's what you're doing, I would not stick with the old Ohio State thing. And plus the history of Ohio State quarterbacks in the NFL. Right. So I'm going to take Trevor. All the experts say Trevor. I'm not deviating just because I come from Ohio State.
I'm watching the game. And in the first quarter, I lean over and I say, that dude is going to be a star in the NFL.
Who?
Trevor Lawrence is going to be a star. Trevor Lawrence is going to be a star in the NFL. Now, hopefully, he doesn't go to Jacksonville and get killed.
Right.
Okay. Get the yips and end up like some of these guys that when they're just going somewhere, they're expected to do it and they don't have any help, But given all the things that you said and the eye test, man, that dude's going to be a star.
Yeah.
He is going to be a star.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've had a guy I mean, recently, if we had that guy that we just felt like coming out, he's going to be a star. Now we've had good quarterback classes, okay, and it's a deep class. We got this guy and this guy and this guy, and the argument for this guy or this guy, which one, and for the reasons you just spoke of and the things that everybody says, I don't think there's any question who you take and what you could potentially get out of him if you took him.
Right.
Yeah.
That dude's he's a difference maker in every sense of the word.
Mm-hmm.
And so
from day one.
Yeah.
From day one. Yeah, and he has been consistent from the moment that he took over the position. The other quarterback, they ended up transferring out, and just from that point on, from day one, he has been true to what he is.
And also,
let's go back 3 years.
The reason he did not start was because Dabo was being a little, like saying thank you to the other guy, Bryant, for being there.
Kelly
right?
Bryant.
Let's give him a chance. He's been here. He's been through the program. He's put in time, put in the sweat. But this other kid, he's on your tail, man. You got to keep going. And then when you get on the field and you don't perform as they were expecting to perform, then you make the move. That dude was the number one guy when he came in the door, but he gave the other guy, the incumbent, a chance to run the ship.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Trevor Lawrence enters on stage, enters game, plays. I feel like I remember 3 seasons ago saying, "Ooh, it was all done. Man, that kid could come out now and be one of the top picks." I felt like we felt that way.
Yeah.
Near right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's going to win the Heisman, maybe
he better.
Maybe not. He may not.
He better
not. And that wide receiver from
Alabama
receiver might get it.
Maybe they'll split between a quarterback.
Only thing you can hope for if you're Trevor Lawrence is that they split up the votes.
Yeah,
but that's what happened. They voted, but they said the vote with him before the games were played.
I'm not worried
so the votes
about
were already done.
Yeah, but they're going to split. They're going to split. Mac Jones and Devontae Smith, they'll split those. They'll split. And if you don't win,
hope they split.
It'll be a travesty if he doesn't win.
Because he's arguably been the best player for 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But do you reward him for what he's done or for what he did this season?
He was.
But statistically though.
What are the numbers? I mean, are we counting the COVID games he sat out?
I mean, whether he sat them out or not, end of the day, you got Trask who's sitting up there with 43 touchdowns.
Oh, did you see Trask in that bowl game?
It don't matter. The votes were in before the bowl game. I get what you're saying.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
But Trask has done that before.
Mac Jones. Statistically, it's ahead of Trevor Lawrence, and then you got the receiver who's put up a year, unlike any other year, probably for a receiver. It is going to be an interesting show. Do I think they'll end up giving it to Trevor? Do I think that they'll end up giving it to Trevor Lawrence? Absolutely, I do think.
For this. RuPaul's Drag Race is back. Let's turn it and burn it. It's
advertisement on ESPN. I'll put $1 in the fines.
Look, but I don't think. Again, if you're going down to the idea about being the best player this year in college football, has his numbers stacked up to do so. It's not an award about what you've done.
If you make great points, and I'm telling you what, when I watched the kid from Alabama play the receiver, man, oh man, he's dope, and he is good enough. He is an outstanding enough player at a receiving position to garner some super duper interest in the award. That it was, oh man, outstanding playmaker, explosive. I mean, league ready.
You ain't ready for this.
John, are you wanting to watch the RuPaul show?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Have it queued up?
Yes.
Like, when's it coming on?
What is going on? My bad.
All right. So, Jeff, I tell you what. Here we go. Predictions right now.
Oh boy.
Predictions right now. The show is next Saturday. The show is Saturday, and we will be back on Sundays, sandwiched right in between the Heisman show and the national championship game. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut to the chase. First off, Heisman. Sean, who's winning? Who's your vote
Trevor
for?
Lawrence.
Jeff, who you vote? No, we got this recorded. Make sure you clip this. Clip this, and then we get whoever wins gets the claps. Jeff, go ahead.
I don't want the claps.
Oh, I'm gonna give them to you.
Jeff, who you got?
Oh man.
Don't act like you got to think about it.
Oh man,
What is going on?
You spoke.
So I'm gonna go ahead.
Jeff, you were really.
Now I'm gonna stick with the receiver from Alabama. I can't think of the boy's name right now.
Smith.
But I'm gonna stick with him.
Devontae Smith.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, in true Heisman fashion, because I feel like this is the way it's gonna go. I'm gonna go with the quarterback from Alabama in Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Because I feel like that's how it ends up working. Is the receiver puts up great numbers. In order for that to happen, you have to have an outstanding quarterback getting the football, as well as spreading that football around, as well as running the show. I believe that the quarterback is going to garner enough votes, unless it gets split.
Here we go.
In that case,
I'm going to
with Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going to give you my 3 then. Since you want to break it down a little bit more, I'm going to break it down like this. Trevor Lawrence is going to win it. Yes, first, second, third. Trevor Lawrence, Devontae Smith, only because of the special team stuff that he does, and then Mac Jones. See, there's an extra layer there for special teams with Smith that will put him over the top of Mac Jones.
Oh, I'm changing my vote. Go ahead, Jeff.
Because I'm still sticking with the Devontae Smith. I'll put Trevor Lawrence second with Mac Jones third.
Okay, I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence first, Jones second, Smith third.
When do they announce this?
Saturday night on the Heisman show.
This Saturday, so I'll clip this, and then this will go out. This will be one of our commercials. Here we go. Hold on just a second here, Tony. Go ahead, say it. Finish it.
No. That we'll go on to the second thing. The next thing after that. Go ahead. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. Do us a favor and hit the subscribe button right there on YouTube. Like it, share it. We appreciate it. Right there. Still right there. All right. Also, you can follow us on any social media platform. For instance, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And last but not least, you can check out the audio on pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. So, once again, subscribe, like, share, Getaway Podcast with Tony and Sean and Jeff.
Have at it.
Pay the bills. That's right. Okay, so we got our Heisman hopefuls and our thoughts on that. Now, culmination, grand finale. Who is going to walk away this year with the Dr. Pepper National Championship Trophy? John, go ahead. Yeah. The silence is deafening.
I know. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go with Alabama. I feel like it's too hard, like you said earlier, to get so fired up, emotionally involved, and win that game, and then turn around and do it again against a better team. So I'm going to go with Alabama in a close game.
Better team. Jeff.
Hold on. Let me clarify. Not a better team than Ohio State, a better team than Clemson. Go ahead.
I know what you meant.
Okay,
I know what you meant. Jeff?
If I feel like Ohio State will definitely cover the spread.
What, 7 right now?
Right now, I think it's 8.
Who's the favorite?
Okay.
Bama's an 8-point favorite.
Bama's 8-point favorite. So
and you said Ohio State's going to cover?
I think they'll cover. Okay. I'm gonna step out there and I'm gonna stick with the Big Ten. I think here's my thing. If Fields is healthy, that's gonna be if he is banged up and still sore from that hit.
Well, he's going to be banged up,
and because he's gonna get hit again. So he needs to be healthy. But I'm gonna stick with him. I'm gonna stick with Big Ten, and I'll say the school in Columbus will pull it off.
Cover the spread and win. So not
They
only
have to win. If they cover the spread, I'm gonna give them the double. Yep.
So you're saying they're gonna win with the points
outright.
Outright.
They're gonna win.
Outright.
Yeah,
but they win. They cover. They cover everything. Yeah, they win.
All right. So Alabama has not shown hardly any kinks in their armor, right? This entire year.
Okay.
They have, from beginning to now, from the starting line to all the way up to the checker flag so far. From the rooter to the tutor. All right. They have shown very little weakness. Okay. I believe Sarkisian leaving is going to be a little bit of a distraction. There's no way that doesn't distract. Okay. That's just what it is. Saban is such a good coach. I feel like he pulls that back together. We have seen times this year. Okay. The one time I do remember watching Alabama struggle was against a wide open offense, innovative offense, and Lane Kiffin. There was a time during that game, as that game went on, Alabama wasn't having their way. And I can tell you right now, Ole Miss gets good players. They don't have the same players as Alabama. Okay? Lane Kiffin coming in, very innovative, very wide open, actually helped, we talked about before, helped bring Alabama into, this century from an offensive standpoint, wide open. Now you're getting different kind of recruits, yada, 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 yada. Next thing I'll say is the Alabama Johnnies and Joes, to me, aren't that different than the Clemson Johnnies and Joes. I feel like both of those programs get those kids. Both those programs get those linemen on both sides that go to the league, those running backs that go to the league, those skill players that go to the league. Both programs get those kids. To watch Ohio State not just beat, okay? Let's just say what it was. Ohio State dominated the team in orange. They dominated them. They dominated them like they dominated those bad Big Ten teams this year that they played. All 4 games that they kicked the tar out of teams, okay? They dominated them like they dominated Clemson. That's just what it was. If you watch the game, they're up 21. They could have been up another score if he doesn't throw a bad interception. Okay. Could have been a 4-score game at one point. Okay. I believe we have to get over that hump. I believe we have to not have played simply to avenge, the loss last year to Clemson, which they were able to do. And if they are able to get, prepare like they have, stay humble like they have, okay, I absolutely believe Ohio State can beat Alabama. Now, I was going to pick Alabama because we just haven't seen them struggle too much until I really, really thought about what did they struggle with this year. Let's keep it real. SEC, everybody says it's the best conference in the land. And you know what? It very well may be. However, Alabama didn't play anybody like Ohio State this year. Ohio State you saw this last week. Okay? They didn't play anybody like that. They didn't play anybody like that. Ole Miss isn't like that.
What is Florida?
Ole Miss was running up and down the field.
What is Florida? And secondly, okay, yeah, you said your point about, you made your pick. Well, I get it. I'm done listening to you. Clemson's defense is not Alabama's defense. That Skowski cat at Clemson, that linebacker that got ejected, he's garbage. They've got a couple of freshmen on their defensive line, so they're inexperienced in a big game. Those guys that were dropping out, freshmen. Their back end DBs, not Alabama back end DBs. Are Alabama's DBs like they've been in the past? No. But they do have Patrick Surtain II. He's going to come out early. He'll be a first-round pick. Don't get it twisted. Mm-hmm. That Alabama defense is really, really good. Now, you bring up Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Well, I mean, who knows you better than the person who used to be there, right? You're still running the same offense. He called that offense. He knows what they're doing. You think he didn't have a discussion with his defensive coordinator like, this is what they're going to do to you? You think he doesn't know what Nick and those guys like to do on the defensive side of the ball? Yeah, of course he's going to cause problems for them. But that Clemson defense does not compare to Alabama's defense. Period. Point blank. And if you think it's going to be more than 8, you're wrong. You talking about 21 and it could have been 28. Jeff, you froze. 21, it could have been 28. It ain't going to be that. Now, if you want to do a little side bet on that, we can do a little side bet on the spread.
We could have a standing bet like we have in the past of the Casanos.
Oh!
Large pepperoni, son.
Oh!
Bring it. Bring it. I will send you the pizza kit. Make it out there in San Diego.
The pizza kit.
Sunshine Tacos and Casanos.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
All right.
So is that the spread? Am I giving points on that?
Well, of course, if we're going to bet, you're going to have to give points because that's just the way that they do it in Vegas.
Okay, good.
Of course, it's just for fun.
Jeff, you want in on this because I like. Have we received popcorn yet? No. Okay.
No, I got to place that order for you.
Ooh, you haven't paid up on the bet yet?
No, I haven't been able to do it
My
yet.
feelings are hurt. My feelings are hurt. We would.
I'm gonna get your popcorn.
That's why we lost it. That's why we lost the game.
We got our picks. We got our picks. We got our picks. I'm excited to see how they end up. I'm excited to being able to finish a college football season that nobody knew what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of these teams weren't going to play months ago.
Hey, let's give these kids, these coaches, medical staffs, let's give them the claps for helping us get through a rough part of the year and still being able to bring us that entertainment and enjoyment.
Applause. Give it to them, Sean. Applause. Applause because they have all earned it. Applause. So we have a high school football season. Gave a lot of people a lot of joy. We were able to get through it based on protocols and a whole lot of heart and dedication. We have a college football season that ends a week from yesterday after doing the same things through the ups and downs and having to deal with all the craziness. And then the NFL is winding down after, the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride that was 2020. So, man, I'm so happy to say that although we're not back to where we were before, we have been able to enjoy a lot of the things that were originally taken away, and hopefully kept the big picture of let's all work to keep each other safe. So, yeah. That's awesome. This has been so far the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. I just slowed it down for a second so everybody could relax. Tony, Sean, Jeff. Plus, I needed to get a breath. What else are we gonna talk about, man? Because I know this has become the sports hour the last couple times, but folks out there that know us, it doesn't surprise any of them. That is our big interest is sports.
I think we had a lot of we talked about two things pre-pod, right? As I was trying to fix the sound. Two things. We talked about the greatest, you brought it up, one of them, the greatest fight song in college football.
Ooh.
Huh?
Don, you gonna play it? Because I think we're in agreement. I don't know how Michigan fan feels.
No, I'll give it to you. USC's fight song it's legit.
Can you guys hear that?
Only if you think. Oh. Yes. Oh. Goes in and out.
It's going in and out.
Going in and out.
I feel like you just might as well let me handle it, Sean.
Oh, you got it?
I got it. Give me just a second as I cue it up again. Because I reset my phone.
Oh, I got it. Got it?
Can you hear that?
It's still going in and out, but I got it.
Oh, man. Nah, we got to give people... Got to give the people...
USC fight song is so hard. Man, that's hard.
All right, here we go. We want the people to know exactly what it is we are talking about. All right, but I'm gonna have to give them the. I'm not gonna give you the whole thing, folks. The whole thing is about 3 minutes and 56 seconds long. I'm gonna give you.
You just need to have the first part after the intro. Oh, that sounds way better. That audio is great.
Yes, that's mine. No Ethernet cable.
That sounds terrible.
For all you out there wondering, just tuning in, this is the greatest fight song in the land. No matter who your allegiance is towards.
That's hard. Jay Reed. Shout out to Jay Reed.
Yes.
That's his squad. That's hard, dog.
So like I said earlier when we were playing that makes me want to go out and get the, what was it, Sean, the 2014 NCAA college football for the Xbox
Yeah, EA
and
Sports.
the PlayStation.
Bring that back.
And EA Sports, and just jump on it and just take USC in the Dynasty and just binge play it for just hours and hours like we used to. So I could hear the fight song.
Man.
So I can hear the fight song.
Man, oh man, that's so good.
We need to borrow that fight song for just one game against Alabama. That's worth at least 7.
Right.
All right. So fight songs. And the second thing, Sean, go ahead. What was the second thing we were talking about?
Well, hold on. Let me get mine in here. The timings are all screwed up. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to the Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. Hit that subscribe button right there when you're on the YouTube channel. Like, share, comment, engage with us. We love when you do that. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like, comment, share, engage with us there as well. You can also hear the audio anywhere you can hear a podcast. We are also available on your Alexa-enabled devices. Thanks for listening to the show. Say word, son.
Word, son.
Word, son.
Word, son. So the other thing we were talking about pre-pod, because people don't know when we get in pre-pod, I usually cue up some music while we're getting things ready. And Outkast, Elevators came on, and I was like, what's the greatest rap group of all time?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to expand it because I was like, okay, names just start jumping in my head. First I said 4, then 3, then I said 4, then I said 5. And in no particular order, mine was Outkast, Public Enemy, Run DMC, A Tribe Called Quest, NWA.
It's hard to argue with those 5. What about Kid and Play?
No.
They had the most commercial success. Man, they were in movies.
It was good.
Let's see, who else can you throw in there though?
EPMD, Wu-Tang.
Well, I was gonna say Wu-Tang.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But once again, it was kind of an acquired taste, right? Wu-Tang was like,
it's
was
very
just
niche.
different.
They're niche.
PMD, you have to be a hip hop head to really, the others had, obviously all of them had commercial success. I think that's obviously a big factor. Man, I'll tell you what, Outkast, it's tough when you start listening to the catalog. Obviously you go back in NWA and kind of NWA is like that Saban coaching tree, right? Mm-hmm. It's like out of NWA, everybody kind of sprouted, did their own thing, and they had hits. So yeah, man,
So are we talking about groups? So you living it to the groups, or are you looking at the branch out from it too?
No, just the groups.
Just the groups. Would you consider Eric B. and Rakim a group?
Yeah, I mean,
yes,
I would.
Yeah,
but
if that's the case, you counting Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince? You counting that as a group?
Prince?
That's a group.
No, I mean we kind of Kid and Play, so
it's 2 rappers.
It's 2 rappers.
That's right. Jeff didn't rap too much, but
rappers and DJs, they're a group.
But the Dog Pound.
Daz, get the camera.
What about Fugees?
Fugees, one album.
Hey man, if Lauryn Hill had lost her mind, man, they was decent.
Could have been cold.
First off,
no, Sean, I like your 5, man.
First off, that other dude, I can't remember his name. Weak Link.
Yeah.
He was the Michael Bivins of the group. Praz.
Let's see.
Yeah, but your 5 is pretty solid.
Man,
it's 5, man.
It's tough. It's a tough one. I couldn't put them in any order because I mean you look at Run DMC, man. They're the ones who did it for everyone, really.
Pioneers.
Yeah,
that's right. Crossed a lot of boundaries.
And then PE kicks in the door wide open.
Mm-hmm.
They were social before social was the in thing. Man.
Right.
They were Black Lives Matter before
right.
It blew up. Yes.
Right. And then NWA is like burn this mug down. Right?
Yeah.
Tribe was like, How do you want to describe Tribe? I don't know if you can.
I don't know if Tribe though. Yes, I like Tribe Called Quest, but once again, I think that might be too
Niche?
deep.
Too deep.
Yes, too deep for the masses.
Yeah.
Outkast, come on, man.
They
Outkast
just gave
is
you
playing,
bangers. They just gave you hits.
I mean, Outkast you were going to play every 45 minutes on the radio. That's just what it was. Whatever single was out. That's just even now.
The entire
when an Outkast
catalog
song comes on now. What happens
Yeah.
when an Outkast song comes on now in the rotation? You're like, oh,
any song,
players,
any song.
There,
yeah.
If it made it commercial, we know it. Everybody knows it. And they made albums you could actually listen from beginning to end.
You know that Bombs Over Baghdad, man. That thing gets me fired up.
Bombs Over Baghdad.
I mean, it's just
yes,
man, it gets you going.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Outkast. Whew.
Yeah. Outkast.
So disappointed when they came to Dayton and played, man, because I think they only played like 3 songs.
Really?
Yeah.
They did.
It was unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah. That was unfortunate because that's what you wanted to see. That's
right.
who you wanted to see.
Right.
Yeah.
But now, man. Oh man, you got me want to go grab the. I was gonna say go grab the albums, the CDs, whatever. But I don't know if I have a CD player in the house anymore. So
you got to get yourself a record player.
You know what? I'm going to. I should have asked for it for Christmas. See, we talk about that. That's one thing I do want to put down in the basement in the man cave is a record player, and then just start collecting.
Mm-hmm.
Start collecting.
You know, it's a daunting task unless someone help. You know, I've got a friend of mine. I don't know if he's friend of James Henley. He's got a nice collection, and it seems like it is the fact that he got a lot of that handed out to him. He's got some old music, right? So if you're starting from scratch, that can be a very daunting task. I've started this thing. It's been a while since I bought a record, only because I can't decide what my next record's going to be. It took me probably 2 weeks to figure out, this will be my first one. Stevie Wonder. Songs of the Key of Life.
Songs of the Key of Life.
Yeah.
Right? And then I was like, okay, do I want to stick with that kind of rotation as far as like R&B, or do I rotate it as far as genre? My second purchase, The Chronic.
Oh,
The Chronic.
I mean, so you see my angst, and then knowing, you know me, these were the ones I bought with the record player.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. I knew it before he showed it.
Sign of the
Sign
Times.
of Time.
Right? So now I've got R&B, I've got hip hop, and then I went and got the classic. Southern Playalistic. But who did you not see? You didn't see no Michael.
That's a no Michael. There.
Not yet.
I was wondering.
Because I'm like, I can't decide. I'm on Amazon like thinking I'm trying to get this. Yes, you can get it on Amazon.
No NE up in there.
No New Edition. No Michael, because it's hard to pull the trigger. Like, who do you want to hear? What do you want to have next? Amazon is sometimes you can get you like a little 3-album deal to package all together. So I was gonna get Thriller, Off the Wall, and Bad, all in a package deal. Man. But once you start going down that path, it's like you spend all this time trying to figure out what do I want to buy next.
Yeah.
It's hard, man.
I need to ask Jerry. I know Jerry, we had a whole bunch of, LPs, man. I need to ask her whatever happened to them because they had a bunch of them.
My mom had milk crates full in the basement. The basement flooded, and ruined all those albums.
Man.
But yeah, it's fun though. It's fun.
My parents had them, and used to have. I remember the Gap Band. That's when you listen to all that, man. All that stuff, and I just go back on Amazon Music now and play it.
Gap Band,
but it's not,
Sugar Hill
it's not the same.
Right.
Not the same,
so it's not the same, right? I've got the streaming, and it's so easy to just hit the button on your phone and connect it to your Bluetooth device or whatever, and start playing the music. I do that a lot. but it sounds different when you put it on that record player. It just sounds different.
I'm getting one. Oh.
I'll send you the link to the one I got and the speakers I got.
Do that.
Just please. And I'll send you back the receipt that I ordered them.
He does do that. I say, like, order this, and he sends a screenshot that he just ordered it.
So, gosh, we are going to have to do a review.
Ooh.
A weekly or bi-weekly review, record review. So, obviously, next week is going to be heavy college football.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about, the upcoming game, talk about the Heisman, set up the playoffs, for NFL, because we'll know pretty much all that after tonight, I believe. But we're going to start a record review, a weekly, everybody pull out, if everybody got a record, we talk about it.
How frequent?
Can't wait. Twice a month, or once a month, once or twice a month.
Okay.
Let's start off with once.
Yeah. These records are not cheap, son.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, they ain't cheap.
Know.
Yeah, you ain't getting them for $9.99, son.
You pay for an album in a minute.
Not no more.
No, not the good ones.
$4.99 second time around.
There you go, Omega Music.
Okay, so here's my Mega Music story. When we moved, and for those of you who don't know, I was a roommate of Huffman's along with 4 other cats down in the city, and so my first experience with Omega Music was 1993. What album was coming out, Sean?
Doggy Style.
The album that we waited outside.
Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style.
You know what? That's funny. Because I was home from school when we went to go stand in that line.
You were with us?
You were in that line.
Yeah, man. Because we bought Doggy Style. We sure did. And we stand in the line. Cats was driving by, bumping it. We
at midnight.
Yes.
We got it. Yes.
Yes, sir. Omega Music, Main Street.
Yeah,
that was 27 years ago, going on 28 years ago.
How's that album holding up?
Man,
I was listening to that. Now, the thing is, when I listen to it here at home, I throw it on the TV. I got to find the edited versions on TV because I got a 10, 11-year-old. And then I'm sitting in the car yesterday, and he's singing some Drake song that's on the radio, and it's cuss word this, cuss word that. Just the little cuss words, though. It's like where they just fit it in a song to make it rhyme. It's kind of, I'm looking up like, huh? He just said the same cuss word, back-to-back lines.
Yeah.
Basically the same thing, but nobody batted an eye. It's just, because it's Drake, it's just the way it is. Well, you couldn't hear any of that on the radio back in the day.
No.
But everything now it's different because of how it is, on like the XMs and things like that.
Right.
I don't think it's the same rules.
It's not even the same rules on regular radio, dog. Because out here at the regular radio, you still cuss words on the radio. And I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I would be riding and I would look around like, are they saying this on the radio?
Right? That's right.
You're hearing these unedited versions, and don't get me started on the morning show that I can't take. They are over the top. Which,
What morning show is that? Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
I don't really listen to the Breakfast Club unless they have somebody on there that I really want to hear.
I will watch videos of the interviews, but the radio show itself is over the top as far as being played and saying whatever you want. And that's on regular radio. So, yeah, things have changed.
Times are changing, fellas. Jeff, is that gray I see in your beard, too? Is that starting to pop in? Or you all black? I couldn't tell if it was the light, the way it was reflecting on.
I always got something to say.
It's a little wisdom.
No, we're all in this together.
Okay.
We're all in this together.
I thought you was going to go with the Grecian formula, though.
I decided not to because you know how funny that would look after seeing me one day with gray, and then all of this next day I come in with jet black.
Hey man,
that's what I told him, Jeff. I said, look, you can't, and then look, if you make the Grecian formula decision, that's something you can't take lightly. You have to maintain that because when it grows back, you're gonna be like, what the Cruella DeVille with the black and the gray.
Look.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
The whole look, man, of the dye and then the painted in hairlines and
Beijing,
things.
Get you some Beijing.
I just I just embraced the baldness, bro. You know, it's like I
Hey,
started shaving my head in 99. Look, I started shaving my head back in 99.
Yeah.
And I don't think I realized I was probably balding, which I'm sure I am. Until one day I let it start growing. I was like, man, it showed to grow a lot faster on the side than the top.
Jeff, are you full George Jefferson, Jeff?
No, I ain't full George Jefferson. I get some stubble up top, but it's just I keep it bald. It's easier.
See, knock on wood, I haven't had any thinning yet. I got no thinning anywhere, so I almost feel bad for y'all that can't get the hairline right anymore or that has the thinning going on, because I don't have those issues. But I do prefer no
turn around, Tone. Let's see.
You know,
turn around.
You know, he doesn't have any issues. You know what? You know what's disrespectful?
There's that spot right there, though. You see it?
You know what's disrespectful? It's disrespectful to be able to grow a full head of hair and to shave it bald. That's disrespectful, man. That's the
dilemma right
that's
now.
Like
that I'm
burning cash.
with y'all.
But that's also low budget. I mean, it's not low budget, but it's just easier maintenance, man. That was the whole reason why I started shaving my head. It's just the low maintenance piece.
Man, low maintenance. Let me tell you something. If I could grow my hair, I would be at the barbershop twice a month.
That's what I just told my wife the other day. I said I might go ahead and grow it and just get a fade again.
Man,
just take it back to
line
90s.
me up,
just
son. Line me up and throw a little part in there too. Hook me up.
So I told the barber the other day before I cut it, I shaved. I said I might be by for a lineup. And he was like, I got you.
That's what I'm saying, man. No, you're wasting all that good equity. That's equity. You might as well just take some cash in the backyard and burn it. You got a head full of hair? I would be at the barbershop, posted up, talking my talk like Coming to America.
Still sitting up here like this.
Man, brush. Almost 50 with a wave cap on.
Looking like, what was Joe Torre's character? That's Chicago.
Oh, my goodness.
Non-stop, son. Disrespecting the game out there, shaving a full head of hair.
Man, oh, man. All right, fellas. Well, let's see. The inauguration date is what?
20th, son. 17 days.
Oh, my goodness. So 17 days. I wonder if the eviction notice is printed up yet. But we'll see. We'll see how well he did. Now, how long do you have to get out?
That day.
But how long do you have to get out?
That day.
Noon.
Like that day?
That day.
It's noon, right?
Be out by noon.
Yes. About it.
Like Biden's gonna be on stage, but his people are gonna be at the White House making sure everybody's exiting.
They're gonna be packing stuff up, disinfecting, running the vacuum, changing them orange sheets.
He got orange angels.
You gotta get up out of there. Get out of there, son. Hey, and quit calling the governor of Georgia and begging for votes.
Man,
he talking about I need how many was it, Jeff?
11,700.
I need 11,007 or 11,070 votes or something like that. I just need to find 10,000 more votes.
Find them. Just find them for me.
Find them, son.
Yeah, find them for me and overturn it. Just overturn it, please.
Find a way to make it happen.
So
begging Barry White. Quit begging. We don't want you. The people have spoken. And let me tell you something else. You Republican MFers who are going to contend.
He's going all the way there.
My bad. Contend this vote. Try to challenge this whatever they're going to do here on the 13th, I think.
Yeah, they got it valid. They basically
validate it all, right? Yeah. And they're going, man, come on, get up out of here. Ted Cruz, this man said your wife was ugly. This man said your wife was ugly and you're a baby is what he called you. Not a tough guy. And you're standing up for him. Are they standing up for him or are they standing up for their base to get reelected?
Man, they're trying to hold on to his base. The thing is that the thing is that his influence has basically taken over the party. And so now no one wants to basically make him mad because they don't want to lose their standing because of what he's been able to basically pull into the party.
I've got another question. We are trying to contend this vote, right? We are in contention. They're saying they don't want to validate the vote. because of fraud, but they're okay with the ones who won. They're okay with those votes. Nothing was wrong there. There was no fraud in the Republicans who won recently, right? Just Biden. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's basically, yeah.
Okay.
They're only contesting the presidential one.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. You know, their votes when they got reelected here, you know, just recently, no fraud. Right?
Yeah, they don't want to go through all that because they're good with their votes. Now the ones in Atlanta, down in Georgia, you know, when whatever that settles out to be, that might be a different discussion. You know, so if they go out and get kicked out like 45 did, then you know there'll probably be a long, drawn out process of recounting unless it's a landslide, which is what you hope for. I think they said they've already had 3 million people already vote. Early
voting, you know what that's a sign of.
So
hey, if people get out there and wait like they was waiting for the PlayStation 5, it'll be all good.
They got out there and they did their early voting. They're ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Well,
so we shall see.
You know what? Hey, good for the good old USA here, 2021. Let's just get it cracking. We got vaccines jumping off. We got the Buckeyes playing for the national championship. 2021 is starting off right. Let's keep it going. Let's get some good juju going. Let's go. All right. End on that.
I had enough.
Listen, it wasn't as powerful as the intro, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. Thank you for joining us. The Getaway Podcast with Tony, Sean, and Jeff. Once again, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. 2021, here we go. Let's all do it together. Sean, enjoy the tacos and sunshine. Jeff, enjoy the wind. And I'm going to enjoy all of that because we're going to have it all in the next week and a half here anyway in Ohio. So, appreciate you guys. OHIO. Good job. Don't forget that guy right there. Be sure you tune into the game all week this week. Have a great, productive week. Get your year started off right. Say word, son.
Word, son.
All right, fellas. Be cool.